everyone, my name is Kaylee with All Your Stuff, and today we are going to be making a keto-friendly cheesecake, or low-carb cheesecake. It's really delicious, so let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the crust. Now, I like to use almond flour, but you can also use coconut flour. That works just as well, and you'll just set that out for this recipe. So what I have is I have some almond flour here. And I'm going to mix it with 1/3 cup of melted butter and a tablespoon of stevia. So we're going to mix that up. Okay. Then I just like using a metal pie tin. You could definitely use a cheesecake springform pan if you'd like to, or my husband actually used a disposable pie tin last weekend, and he took it to a party, so it ended up working out really well. So I do have clean hands by the way. So you're gonna take the mixture and you're just going to press it out as evenly as possible with your hands, or you can use the back of a measuring cup too. And you're just going to press it out evenly and up the sides. I don't know about you, but my favorite part of the cheesecake is the crust. It is the best. And so for this recipe, I actually decided to use the almond flour because I've done a little bit of trial and error, and I just find that the almond flour gets really crunchy, like a good graham cracker crust. And so that's why I decided to go with almond. But you are more than, if you have nut allergies, you are more than welcome to sub it out with a different kind of keto-friendly flour, low-carb flour. So we're just making sure this goes up the sides. Another thing about this recipe that I really love is that it is a simple, plain, original cheesecake. And so you can change it out with different variations depending on what you like. So I've actually made this a pumpkin cheesecake at the start of the fall, and it was really good. I added some about a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice and about 1/4 cup of canned pumpkin in whenever I was mixing all the ingredients, and it turned out really good. And then we also used some maple extract and a little bit of liquid stevia and some heavy cream, and made maple whipped cream for it, so it was really good. Alright, so I've got this just about even, so you can see it's kind of pressed up. And then we're going to take this, and I have my oven set at 350, so we're going to put that in there for 8 minutes. I'm just going to wash my hands real quick. Okay. So, I actually have a crust already ready. And I use the disposable pan like I was talking about. See, it's beautiful. You don't want too much color on it whenever you take it out of the oven. That's why I said about 8 minutes on that, because you're going to put the filling in it, and then it's going to continue to cook for another 30 minutes or so. So you definitely don't want to burn crust. So I like it to be a nice creamy color and not too much brown on it. Okay, so I have 2 blocks of cream cheese that have come to room temperature. So I'm just going to take my hand mixer and kind of loosen them up a little bit. we've got it a little bit mixed up, we are going to add the rest of our ingredients minus the eggs. So I've got a cup of this powdered stevia. Whew, a little dusty. Okay. And then next, to brighten it up, I add 1/8 of a teaspoon of lemon extract, but you could also add a teaspoon of lemon juice if that's what you would prefer. I'm also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to get this nice and incorporated. So because this powdered stevia is so, I guess dusty would be the right word, I like to mix this on low first just to make sure everything gets incorporated and nice and mixed in, and then I'll go on high and fluff it up a bit. Scrape the sides. You don't want any clumps of just hard cream cheese. I like it to be nice and smooth and incorporated. So next we are going to add 3 eggs, but we're going to do it one at a time, just to make sure that sometimes if you add too much liquid to a more solid mixture, it'll tend to separate, and then it will almost look curdled and it won't mix properly. So I like to add my eggs one at a time and just make sure that it gets nice and mixed in there. Egg number 2. And egg number 3. This one didn't want to crack. Okay. All right. And that is it for our filling. Take this off. So now what we're going to do is we are going to transfer our filling into our pie crust. This rubber spatula that I'm using is probably my favorite kitchen tool other than a knife. I love that it gets everything out of the bowl and scrapes it so well, and it doesn't scrape the bottom of my metal pans when I'm cooking. So if you do not have a rubber spatula, you absolutely need to get one for your kitchen. Probably my favorite tool other than a knife. So we're gonna put this in here. At 350 for 30 minutes. All right, so actually I already have one made. However, I was super impatient when I made this earlier, and I stuck it in the fridge, and so it got like a little crack on it. But if you don't want that and you want to take your time and be good, I obviously was not, because I wanted to eat some of this. Whenever you take your cheesecake out of the oven, you set it on the counter for about 30 minutes, and then you'll set it in the fridge for 4 hours. And that was just way too long for me. So, other than that, it doesn't change the taste of it at all, and it still looks delicious. So I'm going to cut a piece of this. And show you how good this looks. And the crust is nice and crunchy. This is so good. This is probably my favorite keto recipe I've made so far. It's really, really good. See, look how gorgeous that is. And then, like I said, you can add some berries on top, or like sugar-free syrups or anything like that. You can also make your own whipped cream using liquid stevia. So the options are really endless, just because this is your basic cheesecake recipe. So I hope you enjoy. Side note, if you like my hat, check out the link below. I've got a link to our online store, and we have some really cool stuff in there. We make lots of custom apparel, so feel free to stop by. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll keep posting videos. Thank you so much, and let me know if there's something else you want me to make. Bye!